accept the experience, appreciate the experience, and learn how to move on from things that don't serve you well, and find your journey, respect your journey, and love it.
What's good, people? It's your boy Double O, and I'm back with another one. You already know the rules of the road, man. So you start, make sure you hit the like button. I'm gonna give you some time to do that while I check the audio. Make sure the chat good. Okay. All right, good. Also, if you don't mind, make sure you subscribe if you're new. Some time to do that while I check the audio. Chat good. We'll have a good show today, man. Support the movement. I like that bar. Support the movement. Alright, bet. Okay, cool. It's up and running. Alright, it's a little chill day for your boy right now. I don't know what this weather is in telling, but it's crazy out here. It went from 80 to 90 to rains and droughts. But Chicago gonna be Chicago. But anywho, you can see by the title what we're gonna be talking about today. I said Microsoft's about to disrupt the industry, and Sony disconnect is real. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on since this Rogue Ally announcement. A lot of information that's coming out. A lot of concerning people and a lot of people that's excited. You know what I'm saying? Depends on where you fall on the fence with that situation. But for the most part, the gaming community as a whole is stronger than no other. I'm not a doom and gloom person. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, depending on my mood. I ain't gonna hold you. But this right here is I'm excited for it because I've been asking and questioning myself with a couple of guys in Discords and in gaming chats, and it's just like I always ask this question. Um, how long would the industry stay stagnant? You know what I'm saying? And people got various reactions to it. Like, what do you mean stagnant? And gaming couldn't be no better. And I'm like, from developer aspect to the actual experience itself, it's been kind of stagnant in my opinion. When it comes to just gaming in general, uh, we haven't really seen a real serious push development wise, like creativity, since the battle royale start hitting the scene. He said, "What is it, child of God? Was good, bro? My brother was good. I hope all is well, but everything is smooth. I can't complain, bro. I'm not complaining at all. I hope the same is going on with you in your life. Uh, taking it one day at a time, bro. Taking it one day at a time. But what I was saying, like, yeah, when it came to the gaming aspect, the experience, haven't really seen nothing like innovative, like jump out to you, like, oh, this is like the next step forward since like battle royales. The last experience I've had personally that I was like, yo, this right here is setting the bar to what's gonna come after it would be Expeditious 33. Expeditious 33. Can't even say it right. But that game and what it's doing with turn based, have it been done before? Some can say yes, some can say no. But their style and their mix to it and how they blend it and the execution of that, and it's a small development team. It was, bro, chef kiss. It was way beyond my expectations, to the point where when, no disrespect, when Final Fantasy dropped on Xbox, I went to go play it and check it out, and it was like, I go here cutscene, go here cutscene. I was just so like disconnect out the game because I played Expeditions 33, and I'm like, yo, that interactiveness during the cutscenes, and you have to be aware of your battleground because you don't know what your enemy going to do, and you got to be able to counter it. Also, have your own attack with that, bro. It breathed new life into that aspect of gaming for me personally. And like I said, I haven't experienced that since the battle royale. A lot of the developers have been chasing the battle royale experience, you know, giving their own spin to it, but for the most part, it was the same old, same old. Expeditions 33 come through, change up the game. It's like night and day. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like it hits in all cylinders, from the visuals to the music to the actual gameplay. It was just a really good cohesive game. And I say that to say that's how I feel what Microsoft is doing right now with gaming as a whole. A lot of people don't like the direction. A lot of people are confused with the direction. Me personally, I see it crystal clear, 100 miles running, and I understand the assignment. You're focusing heavily on what made you good in the first place, what made you a juggernaut in this gaming industry as a whole. They're focusing on it, and with Sarah Barnes leading the way, it's looking real bright over there at Microsoft. I'm not gonna hold you. You got all of the IPs. You're changing the narrative when it came to like the social media and the journalists and the negativity they had towards the Xbox brand. They're doing a whole 360 over there, and it's visually being shown. And next year, once this event happen, I think we are really going to be like, this is the Microsoft we've been asking for. Like, this is the reason for all of the console war battles and the let's make Xbox great again talk. This is going to be the the um the fruit of the labor, you know what I'm saying, of all those war wounds and scars. Y'all about to see the juggernaut, which is Microsoft, and how they gonna take over gaming. So let's get into this video. I was chilling. I did my last video, and I was mentioning about how Windows and Microsoft is working with Rogue Ally and AMD to from the ground up with Windows, and the presentation is going to be crazy. And someone, you know, dropped into my mention. Matter of fact, I told him I was going to mention his name, so he was cool with me mentioning him. So one moment. General Stone Tiger, bro. Shout out to bro. He got into my DM and he hit me with a message about this hypervisor visor. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Hypervisor. And how Windows OS and the game OS is running on hypervisor. And it's a nice video. One of the people that actually created the minds behind Windows is the YouTube video, and the gentleman name is Dave Cutler, and he's the one that designed Windows. It's a about 3 hour long video, but it's a lot of information if you want to know the history, the back scenes, and the developers mindset of how they went to create Windows from going from 32-bit to 64. He's the individual that's been in the hindsight, in the forefront of that development. And in one part of the interview, I probably want to say, for what he showed me, it was like 2 hours and 4 minutes into the interview, they spoke up on Xbox and his involvement with the evolution of where Xbox is now, from the Azure servers on down to what they're doing now with vertical virtual machines. I said vertical, with virtual machines, and how that helped bring what we're seeing now with xCloud and just the whole ecosystem of Microsoft with its gaming OS. And remind you, he hinted at this because I'm going at 2 hours in. He said it previously, 'cause I watched a little bit more of it. I didn't watch the whole 3 hours, but I watched a little bit more. He even mentioned how Azure servers were being developed all the way back into like 2005, I believe. And that's over like 20 years of them developing Azure server. And in the process of them working on Windows 64, x64, I'm sorry, they start to unlocking even more potential, even when it came to the gaming aspect. And now they're doing virtual machines with xCloud. So let's get into the video. Y'all can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to talk about the Microsoft aspect, and then we're going to get into the AMD deal they just announced also as well. So let's get to it. Check in binary.
How do you do configuration control? What version is running? How do you do restarts and all sorts of stuff? So he talked Bomber into and Gates into starting this project, which was called Red Dog, which eventually
God, man. Hold on, bro.
Azure. And so
hold on.
64-bit effort is Bain.
Eve Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of stars.
What happened when you do it live?
It's mainly we're just porting stuff to get it to run 64 bits, and we didn't have to port everything. It was much like back in the days of VAX, where all the 30.
Similar to what goes on in NT. Is there code shared or just ideas?
Well, the hypervisor for Xbox came from Red Dog.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go.
And Red Dog is the hypervisor that was developed for Azure. When we shipped the 64-bit system, we shipped it on Friday. On Thursday, I quit. I sent mail to Bomber on Friday, said I quit because it was so bad. I had such a problem. I couldn't get any traction on FCIBs. Do you know what FCIB is?
Do not.
An FCIB is a fucking checked-in binary. And the reason that it's called a fucking checked-in binary is because we had all sorts of groups at Microsoft that checked the binary in rather than the sources. So it made it very difficult to port stuff. And it was stuff that was in the product.
Right.
And so I was so fed up with not being able to get support from Bill to obliterate this stuff and say, hey, you guys have got to get your sources in. You don't have to port it. We'll have somebody else port it, but you got to get your sources in. So I quit. And I'm gone for, Bomber sends me mail and says, I don't think you ought to quit. Why don't you take some vacation and think about it? So I answered and said, okay.
So, hold on, let me double check. Oh, so quick question in that situation. He's talking about the hypervisor, pretty much what his involvement was with Azure and them working from Windows 64 system and actually pulling it up and creating it for the gaming aspect of it.
Sponsored by Ray Ozzie, who was the software architect of the company. Do you remember Ray? Probably not.
Ray Ozzie?
Ray Ozzie?
By name, but that's about it.
Anyway, Ray looked around and we had all these properties that were producing cloud-based stuff, but there's no infrastructure, platform infrastructure to work on. How do you deploy the applications? How do you do configuration control? What version is running? How do you do restarts and all sorts of stuff? So he talked Bomber into and Gates into starting this project, which was called Red Dog, which eventually became Azure. And so this was going to involve virtualization. So this is at the same time that, you know, we bought a company called Connectix.
Here we go, right here.
And Connectix came to Microsoft with two products. One was called Virtual PC and the other Virtual Server. And they had started development of a hypervisor, and we actually took their where they were at that time, which they were very embryonic, and we built a hypervisor to bring Azure up with. And when I left Azure to go to work on the Xbox, the Red Dog hypervisor became the basis for the Xbox hypervisor.
Okay.
All right. So the Xbox, the structure of Xbox is we really run three different copies of operating systems. We run just three VMs.
That's good, boy.
Like in Azure, we run hundreds of VMs. You spawn VMs, you spin them up, and Azure was all about the platform and building all the infrastructure to provision new machines, bring them online, keep track of them, do the billing, the cloud file system, just all that stuff. It was called PaaS. And we thought that everybody was that was what they wanted. In what AWS was serving up was IaaS, infrastructures. So on Amazon, you actually bought basically a virtual CPU. We were saying, we're going to sell you the stuff that allows you to deploy things, right? You can deploy an operating system, and you can deploy your applications and keep track of them and do billing and all this stuff. So anyway, stepping back to Xbox again, we're only running three VMs. We have two VMs that run all the time. One is the host system. The host system owns all the devices. So all the hardware access to devices is in the host system. The host system is also sort of the traffic cop for any communications between the VMs. And we have formal communication between the VMs as opposed to Azure, where there's the only communication between VMs would be where you had actually a network connection to somebody through a VM. You don't have anything where you're not close as an operating system. So we have one OS that runs basically what you see is the presentation.
Right.
You see the windowing system, the window manager runs there, and that one's running all the time, and the host system runs all the time. And then we have a game VM, and the game VM starts and stops all the time. A game is a VM.
Right.
So games got packaged with an OS. So, and this is a feature and not a feature. It's a feature in the sense that you never have backward compatibility problems, because you say, here's the OS that you can package your game with, the current version of it. And it comes in a GDK, which is a graphics development kit. You develop and package your game with that stuff in that development kit. And when we run your game, we run that VM with your game. So it always runs. We will never obviate your game by some change in the operating system. That sounds great.
Hard to update stuff.
Huh?
Hard to update stuff too if you can't modify it later.
You can't.
Don't up.
My bad with them commercial. Shout out to Restream.
The update, you can do an update to your own stuff, and you have a choice. Your choice is you can stay on with your old.
Hey, what happened? All right.
The place where that didn't work, and we actually ended up producing a universal game operating system for stuff that was prior to this latest Xbox. What do we call it? Xbox X, I think? Not X. I don't know. Whatever the console came out about 5 or 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah, maybe it was.
That was the Xbox One X.
Series X would be the newest, right? I think.
So that'd be the One X.
Is it Xbox One's the new
I
one?
don't have one. I don't know.
Anyway, we came across a thing that we wanted to add a feature
It's quick
that
resume.
was a very important feature for selling systems.
Or it was not.
And we had to find a way to get that feature into these old copies of these games.
That's what I meant by updating the existing. Yeah.
Well, I thought you meant update like bug fixing. The bug fixing is like, if you want to put out a bug
feature was
fix
it?
thing, we fix bugs on these GDKs, but you package your game again.
Oh, okay.
All right, your old one doesn't get the bug fix.
Okay, that makes sense.
If the guy's running the old one, he runs the old one. All right, so this thing we did was, it's called pause resume. So
resume,
on the
yeah.
Xbox, it takes forever to load a game because there's so much data. I mean, there's gigabytes and gigabytes of data that come with it. There's texture data, there's image format stuff, and all just a bunch of stuff. Well, pause resume allows you to do basically a save of the VM and then bring it back later. So we had to get that into these systems. So we produced this universal one. And the universal one's kind of interesting because one of the things we'd done was the original NT had the capability for drivers to create system service dispatch tables. And of course, some of them did. And of course, our original graphics, our game VM had its own. And then several other releases had modifications to that. So this universal OS has to translate all of the system service call numbers according to what the version is of the game was packaged with. Anyway, that's kind of a sidestep. Anyway, that's the way the game runs. So, you run a game, and then you can just let it pause, or pause, sleep or whatever while you're not running a game, or you can start another game. And if you start another game, then you actually kill off the VM and start another one. So we started out with the host system is Windows 8 based, and we wanted that to be as minimal as we could make it. So that one's really custom. It's been hacked down, but the basic structure, the object manager is still there. Events and all that stuff are still there. Scheduling is still there. Drivers fit into the system the way they did in circa that. But there's a few more things that are there that allow for communication with the other VMs or cross VM stuff. So that's Windows 8.
Okay, so he just pretty much broke down how they actually formed and create using Azure and VM machines to actually create quick resume back in the Xbox One X area. That was one of the selling points. That even also explains the snap feature. Remember, we was able to do picture in picture, play the game while also watching sports with the Comcast. If you had a Comcast provider or Xfinity provider, you was able to do a picture in picture, so you can watch the game as well as play the video game all in the same ecosystem. That's exactly what that was. I remember on Z Show it was Super Chat that said VM wasn't strong enough for gaming. And lo and behold, we got literally the creator, one of the creators of it, that actually, that's again, you're talking about people that don't know what they're talking about. They have not been in these rooms, let alone created a computer. But you're going to tell someone who's a creator of this stuff exactly how it's supposed to go and how it operates. This gentleman just broke it down exactly to you. Once they switched over to Windows x64, it became 10 times powerful. And even back then in 2005, that's over 20 some years, they was already associating and breaking down Azure servers, data servers, to do more than just collect data. They was doing everything under the sun, building from the ground up. Once again, the key word, building from the ground up. Shout out to Worthy. And shout out for General Stone Tiger from X for giving me this video also. So again, and this is Dave Cutler. They built this game from the ground up. So when you hear this new deal that's going on, and we see how great quick resume is with the Xbox, it's like literally the foundation of the game system right now when it comes to the Series X and S. No one in the market is doing that. Smart delivery, another part of that went into it, where the license keys was transferring over. It made it seamless. It made it user friendly with no issues and no problems. Now you're bringing in Nvidia, which is one of the leading chip companies out there, and now you're also partnering yourself with AMD, who's working hand in hand, Windows OS as well as their version of what they're bringing to the table for Steam, and then you still got Microsoft delivering on their gaming OS, all cohesively at one time while building this device. This is why I said there are leaps. When they said we are leaping the industry, they are literally dragging us to the future of gaming. You got kicking and screaming if you like it or not. And this is what made this interview so important with AMD announcing that they're moving away from the custom chip. We don't need Right now, we don't need to do an individual custom chip anymore, because guess what? R&D, when it comes to developing the game, the console itself, we don't even have to worry about that when it comes to Microsoft. We're licensing it out. We're allowing AMD and NVIDIA to be the juggernauts that they are. And we're just going to make our money on the back end and deliver you nothing but games and heat. This is what makes this interview and this conversation here so important and so key. Hold on. Dang, where is it?
AMD and Microsoft are advancing a bold shared vision for
couldn't
the
find
future
it.
of gaming, one that enables seamless gameplay across any screen, placing gamers at the center of the experience anywhere. We're so excited to be deepening our relationship with Microsoft and build on the over 2 decades of partnership, innovation, and trust. From the earliest days of the Xbox 360 to the most advanced consoles such as the Xbox Series X and S, and the recently announced ROG Xbox Ally handhelds. Moving forward, AMD will go beyond building custom chips for Xbox consoles to designing a full roadmap of gaming-optimized chips combining the power of Ryzen and Radeon for consoles, handhelds, PCs, and the cloud. And we're doing it all with backwards compatibility, so gamers can access their favorite titles across platforms, delivering on a promise to both gamers and developers. Together, we are building a vibrant open ecosystem that delivers the next generation of graphics and immersive gameplay powered by AI that includes new foundational models to accelerate the state-of-the-art in rendering. From console to cloud to handheld, AMD and Microsoft are building the future of immersive gaming. We are so excited to be working with Microsoft to bring all of this tech to gamers everywhere.
Now, these ponies will make you want to believe that now all of a sudden that they're not doing a custom chip is bad for business, is not giving the originality of an Xbox, yada yada yada, etc., etc., etc. And we keep telling these guys the traditional, the golden girls of gaming. I'm sorry to tell y'all, your traditional way of how these systems and how these companies operate is being flipped on its head, because right now we have some of the technology that we're having is coming so fast and so advanced to the point where things that you thought would have taken 5 to 10 years to do, they're doing it in 2. No one saw OpenAI delivering what it's doing right now performance wise, to the point where if you blink the wrong way, you would think AI is real right now. The video clips that's out there, people are getting confused with just content alone. You gotta check with AI to double check with the content that you're watching, just to make sure that it ain't AI. That is how advanced this thing is. And AMD in this AI chip, and Microsoft already investing in OpenAI from its existence and having control over it with Azure servers. Bro, listen here. It is a clear night and day. It can't be no clearer than this, that Microsoft is literally pushing us forward when it comes to gaming, and the gap between Sony and Microsoft is clear cut, to the point where you are hearing, I need to get the clip, I'm probably gonna make a video for it tomorrow, where the CEO of Sony, when they was talking to the investors, they are already talking about, we're going back to our roots. We're trying to go back to what made us great again. What's good, Noah? What's shout out to Noah, 2/3, 1/3 of State of Game. What's good, Noah? They already going back and backtracking to the point of saying, yo, we're about to start going back to our roots. Oh, if you want these exclusives or you want new games and new titles, you need to invest and buy the remakes and remasters. That's a red flag. You come out and say, yo, the PS6 Pro, which y'all already talking about the PS6, when y'all haven't even gave anything for the PS5 Pro yet. You're already talking about moving on to the next generational console, and it's gonna be backwards compatible with PS5, PS4, and PS6 games, allegedly. If there even gonna be any games, because technically there's gonna be the PS5 Pro games being switched over and advertised for the PS6. And you're even with the state of play, one of the big red flags I saw, so I was like, dude, why am I seeing Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 games being presented in 2025 on a state of play? You know, later, once you go and do your research, you find out it was for the Xbox One X also, but Microsoft discontinued the One X. Why am I seeing PS5 4 games being presented at a state of play showcasing? Brand new games titles, I might add, when you got your PS5 Pro players out here starving. And it dawned on me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. These dudes are going back to the third person over the shoulder single player aspect gameplay. They're finna go try to double down on third party exclusive deals to try to carry them during this processing period, and they're going to fluctuate the numbers. They're going to be using their PS4 install base mass majority of them have not transferred over. Remember, one of the reasons why we was getting last gen games the year prior, 2024, was because over 60% of the PlayStation users were still on the PS4, and they haven't transitioned over to the PS5 at a comfortable number. I.e., why I'm so happy that Microsoft didn't nickel and dime us with a PS5, Xbox Series X Pro. I'm so happy they didn't, because it gave them complete focus on giving us the next big generational leap in console gaming and just gaming in general. It's past just console at this point. Granted, we're getting one, but this device is about to set the gaming industry ablaze, because how I cornered everybody in this market at this point in time. Not only can you not, because they trying to sit here and run with this narrative that Sony can come out with something that can block. No, you can't. Steam OS has its own entity, its own identity on the system. You can't block Steam games from Steam. And Sony are pushing their games towards Steam. They're fighting tooth and nail not to bring their games to Xbox, but that window is sadly going to close on you, because if you're going to do these remakes and remasters, your gamers are going to get tired of playing remakes and remasters. They're going to get fatigued. It's already happening. You're not pumping out the games that they want. You're not even delivering the games that they're demanding that you want. They want, everybody's been talking about where's Bloodborne. Haven't seen it at all. You got individuals asking for Soulcom. If you're gonna dig in the crates, you need to go dig in the crates for the great games, not these piss poor Last of Us remakes and remasters that nobody's asking for. Not these remakes and remasters of games you literally played 1-2 years ago, and you're trying to double down and remake it on another console. You're gonna have to go pull up the kill zones, the mags, the Soulcoms, the resistance. You're going to have to put in some work on your front to justify anybody at this point entertaining Sony, because it's looking bleak over there. Hold on. You said King Reaper, the Xbox still working. Hold on, what? You said the Xbox One X still working. They just stopped making them. Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's what I said. They stopped making them for the most part, but I was blown back when I saw that presentation. That's another reason I took a notch from them, because I'm like, dude, why are y'all presenting PlayStation 4 games? I'd rather you not present that on your showcase and let me go on the internet or check on the website and find out, oh, that game is on the PS4 also. But I started to witness it, because they still got a strong demographic of PS4 gamers over there that's not on that PS5 or that PS5 Pro. They said we still got to cater to them and still got to deliver them games exclusively, because that's where we're going to make our money at. We're going to have to cater to those guys as well. We can't leave them behind like we want to leave them. And from the rumors of this so-called PlayStation Portal, again, this is a rumor for this new handheld that they supposed to be rolling out with the PS6. They was talking about something about 720p for the display for it. They going back in the garage and still digging up old parts and duct taping pieces and parts and GPUs together to present y'all some BS as a new hardware seal. Like they did the PlayStation VR 2, like they did the PlayStation Portal on its original release. They're rolling out BS again. And I want to know if that same narrative is going to be pumped out there, because is it going to have original content, which is going to be associated with the PS4 onto that device? Or are they going to be doing the whole streaming games over to the device? Something that y'all said that y'all didn't like, because y'all thought, didn't even try to run it as fact, but you thought and speculated that this new Rogue Ally was just going to stream Xbox library over to the device. Come to find out you was wrong again. It's coming. The whole library is coming with us. Plus some. We're going to get the PC as well, and any PlayStation game that's on PC, day one or time release, is going to be on that box as well, associated with that same box with the Rogue Ally. All I'm saying is this, man, the writing's on the wall, dog. You can play dumb if you want to. You can pretend as if you're not seeing what's in your face. But you gotta be a cold brother to lie to yourself. You a different type of breed when you can lie to yourself, look yourself in the mirror and lie to yourself and believe that lie. Sony is hurting in a massive way. Yes, they sold consoles allegedly. I don't even know no more. I'm questioning everything right now, bro. They on some Joe Biden stuff over there. No Diddy. Like I don't know about the numbers. We need I need proof right now. I need to see these consoles in the household because again, how did you sell? I say 80 million units, and your games are barely selling 20 mil. You know what I'm saying? And not even half of that. You know what I'm saying? You still doing the 10, 15 here and there, depending on what game it is. And the writing on the wall once again. If Spider-Man ain't out, it's looking real bleak over there. They out here rolling with rumors about a new God of War dropping in 2026 announcement. Is that dry over there? And while y'all are worried about speculations and possibilities, banking in the spade game on your possibles, Microsoft is delivering nothing but cutthroats. He said 20 million plus PlayStation. He said 20 million plus PS5s have never been powered on. Bro, the math ain't mathing, G. The math ain't mathing, though. I'm just saying. You telling me it ain't even seen the light of day. You telling me these jokers, Christmas done passed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to hold that excuse? Oh, they was waiting for the holiday season. Income tax season done passed. And them 20 mils still ain't active? 20 plus? On the table? Hey, man. Y'all can play a fool like y'all want. I'm just saying that's kind of spec. You know what I'm saying? Don't that seem suspicious? Don't that seem suspicious? Oh my God! Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. This is crazy, bro. I'm just saying. And then, like I said, it's a rumor, so I don't go with the rumor mess. It is what it is. But if it's true, the handheld is gonna be a failure before it releases. You know what I'm saying? And again, where's the video games? We buy these consoles for games. And you have a company out here in 2025 that's touting hardware sales over by giving their consumers actual video games for that said hardware. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. That's like touting around a Porsche and you can't drive it. It's just sitting in your driveway. You got a Porsche. It's cute. It look good. Nice rims. But how I'm gonna show this off if I can't even use it? I'm riding on the bus. I gotta ask my girl for a ride. Like, what's the point of a Porsche if you can't whip the block with it and show it off? And then I was looking at something too, man. Shout out to Post. Post put something up, man. And I guess he's starting to turn tides also. I don't want to say turn tides, but he's starting to see the light. And he did a poll. And the poll says this, and this I ain't probably gonna read all of it, but he says, if Microsoft get everything right from the next generations of Xbox, can they make a real comeback or is it too late? ? question mark. He said, picture this: Microsoft bet everything on the next generation of Xbox and get all of it right. Every single detail. The home console that can run not only just Xbox games, but also titles from Steam, Epic Games Store, Uplay. The list goes on. GOG. I don't know what GOG is. The console that combines the ease of plug and play with the flexibility and freedom of a gaming PC. And one of the reasons why I was investing in one, because I'm always moving around. A console that supports quick resume, Adobe Vision, Xbox Play Anywhere, and all of the latest tech out the box. A console where you can play both Xbox and PlayStation titles with Game Pass and cloud services. Backward compatibility so you can enjoy titles from the original Xbox all the way to the Series X. A console where online multiplayer is completely free. No more subscriptions, no hidden fees. Two models, a home console and a handheld, both running on the same unified ecosystem. Do you think this could be enough to turn things around for Xbox, or has the public already moved on? Bro, and it's over 1,600 people voted on this. 69% says yes, 31% says no. I'm telling you this. If you're packaging all of this in one whole system, how can you even point out a negativity in that point? You literally killed every narrative that's evolving around PC and home consoles as a whole. Most home console gamers don't want to gravitate over to the PC, even though they got the visuals and you got free range over there, is because they don't want to have to deal with the bugs and the issues. They just want to sit down, plug and play, and enjoy their content as they purchase. On the PC side, you got that free range and freedom over there, but on the looking at the console aspect, certain games that they get that they gotta wait for, that they don't want to wait for, the whole aspect of sometimes doing the mouse and keyboard, some people just want to play just the controller itself, and with the subscription base, you bringing all that roll into one situation. Not only do I continue to have my Steam library where I get access to my PlayStation games over there as well, that's released over there, but I also can get the enjoyment of my Xbox games, such as I don't have to wait for the PC version of Grand Theft Auto 6. I can just still enjoy Grand Theft Auto 6 on my on the Xbox. And then I still got my Play Anywhere titles. So even if it ain't released on the PC, Play Anywhere. Like, ding, ding, ding. And I think that's smart. Them releasing just one solid Xbox console is very smart. It's strategic. It keeps it heavily focused just on one device. I don't know if it's going to be a disc or a discless version, but keeping it solely on that is very smart. One. Then two, using that handheld to replace the Series S, in its sitting point in the ecosystem. And bringing that out with this release of 2026, 2027, bruh, it's there. And again, all narratives is pumped out the window. You can't say we don't have games, because we dropping nothing but bangers month in and month out. Since 2024, it's been a brand new game every month, especially going through 2025. We killed the narrative of the Xbox is outperforming, not being able to perform. We got we working with AMD, and we got NVIDIA under the belt. Azure servers are dominating, one of the top 5 data centers in the world. And you seen what David Cutler says about the real power with Azure and how that ecosystem is running. We're probably about to get the actual real life quick resume that we wanted, where even when you're on the phone, you can tell your phone, like Post says, boot up Killer Instinct, and then by the time you hit the crib, controller in hand, you ready to go. You playing a couple of World of Warcraft games, because strategy games on your cell phone. You get in the crib, you put your phone down, transfer over, you back on your same save, your same progress, what you did on the phone on your console. All rolled into one system. Or you got the rogue ally with you, and vice versa. While you got the people over the pond talking about, yo, we gonna have to play and announce games for the PS4. Our system is cohesive. The games we're going to was releasing on the PS5. We're canceling and delaying them. We're gonna bring them out for the PS6. You're gonna have to go through that whole transitional period of cross-generational games. Like when Jim Ryan said we're not leaving a generation behind, that nigga was not playing. Shout out to Jim Ryan. That brother was not playing, bro. When I say it, they are scrambling over there. They are scrambling. Or guess what? And I'm still gonna put this on the table because I was the first one to say it. The great garage sale of Sony. Either this is still on the table. You make your system enticing enough and pretty enough for your investors. Make it look all nice and shiny and cute. And you go out there and you sell it to the highest bidder, which will probably be Apple at this point, or Google, one of the two. I'm still gonna keep that on the table. I don't care how much hardware they sell. That's a good selling point to a company if I want to get more bang for my buck on the back end. I think Sony has met its match. We still have a competitor coming into the gaming industry, and even though they've been quiet and we haven't heard much about it, I still believe it's still on the table. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. This your boy Double O Melo. One love and God bless. Y'all be smooth out there. Make sure you click the like button while you exit. And yeah, man, stay safe and stay dangerous. As I know it said AMD multi-year, multi-device partnership, handheld, cloud, and console. When you say the last part just jumped off my screen. Hold on one moment. I was closing out, but wait, I'm gonna see what my bro got to say. A said, are we looking at an upgradable console? I believe so. If they do open box, if they do an open source box for it, they probably would. But we gotta wait and see. It's a wait and see. Right now I can't leave nothing off the table. I can't. This this deal between NVIDIA and AMD, that one of the top graphic chip card companies in the world. These two partnerships with them, and we got Windows, one of the biggest operating systems in the world, all together forming like Voltron, building this juggernaut of a monster that's probably gonna be presented to us in the next year or so. It's scary times. I can't leave nothing off the table with these guys, because from what I'm seeing, they took all of the negative from what they've been putting in the media, and they came out swinging for the fences right now. And in my eyes, it's a good look. It's all positive. It's nothing negative right now. And Sarah Bond is in the forefront. Like, what the heck is that? Oh shit. So yeah, man, let me get up out of here, man. One love, God bless y'all. Be smooth. Appreciate y'all coming through for your boy, man. Peace. I don't know what the heck that sound was.